exactly what it felt like 15 years ago, right? 24 to 21. So, Troy came in here and they came here to win, certainly about that. And they've got a good staff and a good group of players that played really hard. So give them a lot of credit. But, we played hard, and I think, some biggest stories, we played a lot better in the second half. Left the door open a lot in the first half, and that was, a little bit of a challenge. On a positive note, we played clean football, no penalties, no turnovers. Did have the one loose ball on that one punt return, but overall, it's a good sign certainly, and just really, really good to get the win. I thought the team responded the second half, had a little better focus in that second half, and we're going to enjoy this one, but obviously there's a lot of work to do right now, and this is, I've talked to the team about this. Mentioned just on the radio Tuesday or Wednesday coming in, and a couple people were banding back and forth on the NFL Network and critiquing a lot of the teams and in the league, and trying to give a prognostication for the season, and got out of the car and thinking to myself, these guys have played one game, right? And I know that's a national pastime, but I know this for us, for us it's a path of development, and there's going to be ups and downs, and certainly you like to get out of your downs without getting skated too bad, but anyway, so it's just going to be a week-to-week process for us. Saw a lot of good things out there today, some things that are really encouraging. Yet there's some things that, we're really going to learn from tomorrow. We look at this tape and, hopefully do a better job as we move forward. I'll throw it out.
Coach,
Hold
one thing.
on, Dan.
David Eichel, HawkeyeInsider.com. Kirk, you guys get down the goal line, you decide to throw Brendan Sullivan in just from the goal line. Is that something that you've been working on going back to fall camp? Was it implemented this week? And is it something just to kind of mess with the defense, or was Brendan kind of provide maybe just as a different look?
Yeah, during camp, both guys get reps for the most part, pretty much with everything. And, Brendan's a really good athlete and worked hard. So, this week when we were talking about those situations, we just thought maybe it'd be good to have that in our pocket. And, how much we utilize it or not utilize it, we'll figure that out as we go. But he did a good job during the week, and that's part of our plan coming in. If the situation arose, maybe if it could help us win games, we're going to do it. So I thought he did a nice job, and I guess he got his first completion too on that little flip out there too. So he's 1 for 1. Can't beat that.
Kirk, Tyler Tashman with the Des Moines Register. It seems to me through 3 games that the highs have been really high and the lows have been very low.
Tell me about it.
Do you feel like that's a good thing at this point in the season because there's so much left to grow, or just how do you kind of view that?
It would be better if we were 3-0 and we had those highs and lows, but some of those lows have cost us, and we're gonna have to learn a little bit better. I've never, and maybe you guys, quiz you guys, have you ever been to a game where 3 touchdowns got scored? And I don't think anybody got a finger on the guy, the same guy twice, right? And I've never seen that before. So, we don't want to try that formula, and we're known for not giving up big plays, and we're known for not doing that on special teams, but that's, all you can believe is what you see. So we're going to have to get that addressed real quickly, because it's going to be hard to win games moving forward doing that. But there were other things too. I'm not just singling out those, but it was a weird game that way. Credit to them. But we had no contain on the punt coverage, and, so those are the things we're going to have to get straightened out real quickly here.
John Seppe, Cedar Rapids Gazette, kind of going off that with the big plays and not really being known for that. What do you attribute that to, and especially considering that you had one last week too, and then 2 of them this week, and kind of what can you do to address that at a big time play?
I'd say 4 last week, me personally, and all 4 of those are involved in their scoring drives. So, and the way I define a big play, you can live, you don't give up. Phil don't want to give up an inch, but you can live like getting dunked and outside of the Michigan State game in 15. That's hard to do. It's really hard to do. So, when a team does that, you tip your hat and just say, hey, congratulations. That's part of the deal. But it's just really tough when you give up big plays. So part of it's mental. Sometimes it's physical. I would argue today, one was a lack of communication. The other one was just, a young guy maybe getting a little bit laxed and not realizing that, he might get picked on, and these guys, it's not the first time they've called plays. So those are the kinds of things. And then on any play, a return play or any offensive play, if you don't contain the ball, you're going to be in trouble on that. And we didn't do that. And it wasn't a great punt either, but kind of expect that. Reese is, I'm not excusing him, but it's the first year he's played. so, you're gonna have a little bit of a roller coaster there, but that doesn't tell you why nobody was containing.
Adam Jacoby, Hawkeye Beacon. Sort of a two-parter. One, saw Jennings Dunker left the game rather early, but didn't look like he was getting medical attention on the sideline. Is that just a rotation or a health thing? And then, is this the offensive line that you really expected them to play like? They had a pretty monster game opening holes.
Yeah, as far as the injury, we had a couple guys cramping up today, and I think that was his issue. A couple of linemen we really haven't had much humidity this year in practice or anytime, so I think that was a factor. But, yeah, I mean, we're gaining ground, we're not there yet. We're not there yet, but I think, yeah, to answer your question, it's more what we're hoping to be, but we're not there yet, and then, which is good, I mean, because we can still get a lot better, a lot sharper. There's some things, you get to watch the replay board, and some things that we're, you hope are gonna be a little cleaner as we keep moving forward, and if we do that, that's gonna help us, and then, I can't say enough, and there's some guys I'm really pleased with, I mean, stating the obviously, Caleb Johnson's playing his best football, right now, I mean, just, obviously he's getting yards, but the way he's running right now is really encouraging, and then, Jazz jumped in there today and looked like we were hoping Jazz would, and, both those guys are going in their third year now, so that's when you really, just in general terms, you hope a player, at least in our program, that's when they gotta start really kind of seeing the big picture a little bit better. I think both those guys are doing it, so. Jazz hasn't been out there, I don't know if he's had a carry this year. He looked good today, and it's really encouraging.
Thanks, Elliot.
Hey, Kirk, Elliot Clough, Hawkeye Beacon. Talk a little bit more about Brendan getting those goal line packages, those packages for him. Is there I don't even know how to phrase this, but like trying to wean him into maybe getting more snaps in the middle of the field too? I guess.
You want me to take the hook on that one? Or what? Seriously? Yeah,
Sorry.
Okay. No, I mean, yeah, I get it, and you got to ask that stuff. I get it. I mean, there's really no big conspiracy theory or purpose. This thing, he's practiced well. He's a really good athlete, and we thought if we could give us, provide one more dimension, one more thing for the defensive staff to worry about, might have some benefit. So, there's no like big picture right now, but we are going to try to utilize every one of our guys any way we can if they can help us, that's a good thing.
Chad likes to go to one register and you historically downplayed, halftime speeches, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But a minute left, you had the ball, you had a chance to maybe try for points, you decided not to. Was that just kind of your decision to sort of regroup at that point?
That was totally my decision. Yeah, you can blame that one on me. And I know the fans weren't happy, but the way we were playing, I mean, why make a bad situation worse? And I'm not saying it would have happened, but it's like the 2-point thing last week, and we talked about that Sunday and Thursday, and I'm still not sure where these charts come from, but a lot of it is just how the game feels to you at some point, and we're sitting there at that point, 1 minute away and 70 yards away, so, or whatever it might have been, 75, or I don't know, it doesn't matter. But there's nothing, let's just minimize the damage and see if we can regroup and play a good second half, we're gonna get the ball. So, there's nothing in my mind right now that was really instilling confidence in me that we could just, go down the field and score.
We'll finish up with Tom, Owen, and then Dan. Tom.
Tom Caker, it's a Hawkeye Report. One of the positives on the defensive side was your defensive line, in particular Brian Allen and Herkett and Max Llewellyn. Can you talk about their development this year and how important that's been?
Just got off the phone or the radio with those guys talking about the same thing. Sorry with Ethan. I mean, he had a couple injuries earlier when he got here, but from the day he's walked on here or walked into our building, I didn't walk on, but he just works hard. Like, he's a really focused, intelligent guy, man. He works hard, great work ethic, and so. He's fought through the injuries and all that kind of stuff at ball. I'm not saying he's Joe Evans, but he's kind of like Joe in that, he just keeps coming at you. And, there's a lot to be said for that if you're a defensive player, any player, but I mean, there's a lot to be said for just going hard and being tough-minded. He definitely is that, and it's good to see him enjoying some benefits out there. And then both Brian and Max are young guys that have flashed and all that, and they had good August practice periods there, that 4 weeks. I think they both grew and are earning our trust, because defense is so much about being where you got to be and understanding. But they're also capable of making some plays and making it tough on whoever's got to block them. So really encouraging some of better stuff that happened from where I was standing today, seeing three guys, and Ethan not as much, but the other two guys who haven't played, and I'll flip it over on the other side to see Bowie make that nice catch on a 3rd and long, and then a conversion from Brown, in that fourth quarter, 3rd and 9 or whatever it might have been. So, things that we haven't seen. We haven't seen Jazz, right? So there's some really positive things too, and what we got to do is pull this stuff together here and play a little tighter. And I don't mean tight, but tighter, more detailed.
Owen back left.
Owen Seaborn with KGAN. There's been one theme that I've seen over the first few games is that, boy, one half looks great and the other half doesn't look so great. What does it take to kind of string 4 quarters together, or do you feel like today it all was, I know you have the 24-hour rule, but was there a little bit of a hangover from the Iowa State game last week?
I don't know. I thought we practiced okay and prepared okay this week. But I was, I'm not a big pregame guy either, but I was underwhelmed with our pregame today. I don't mind telling you that. It just, and then sometimes again, it's how you feel, just what the feeling you get. So I can't explain it, but I do know this. Got 12 opportunities that are guaranteed. And Blythe said this a week ago last Friday. He did the math. It was like 1,700 hours, I think he said he practiced. These are things that linemen think of because they don't do anything else. And played 176 games. So, and I talk about that all the time with our guys. In football, you prepare a lot more than you play. We don't play 162 games a year. So if you can't get yourself in the right mental frame to play, the only thing that changes is times, right? And then Friday, Saturday. But we know well in advance. That's our job to get ready. And quite frankly, if you need a pep talk, you're playing the wrong sport. That's how I feel about it. So we'll learn. We'll get better.
Last question, Dan.
Coach Ferentz, one stat that really jumped out at me today that I was really impressed with you guys was, I'm Dan Stacy, Sportscast Media. Anyway, your rushing defense was awesome. You only allowed, I believe, 11 yards rushing today against Troy. Did you pay special attention to that this week?
We try to be like that in every game. That's where defense starts in our minds is, defending the run. It's tough if the other team can run at will on you. But then it backfired because they chose to, throw a couple down there on us that we're going to have to get better at. But, over the long haul, if we can defend the run, at least that gives us a chance to build a defensive football team and have a decent chance to be successful. So that's been that way for 25 years. We've always believed in that. And then conversely, hopefully we can run the ball effectively, but it's, today was a good effort that way. We just got to do something about the big play.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks,
Thank
Coach.
you.